Hmm. Ah, there we go. Very nice, very nice. Yee. What up, what up? What up? What's up, guys? As you can see, doing a little off-white blazer. What up, Easy? Arturo? What's up, everybody? And I say this every video. Ideally, this is a half an hour little project. We already know it's going to be a half an hour plus tax, unfortunately. But that's fine. When do I stream? Typically, like around, based on my schedule, based on when I have time to stream. What's up, Noah? Shouts to Noah. This time frame, so what is this? 9:30 Eastern. Typically works out pretty well. But it's random, and like this whole week is just gonna be so busy for me. I got so much stuff going on. And just to have the time to upload a regular, let's take care of this white real quick, a regular video on days like this, it would have either done one of two things. It would have stressed me out, or I just would not have been able to do it. So to bypass, I remember, you know, it's all good. To bypass all of those things, I can just do a live stream. And again, I still have the footage from the 2 previous live streams. I want to do like extra bonus videos where it's like highlights of the streams, where I take like the best conversation points. But I literally didn't have the time, which is both a good and a bad thing. You know, it's good that I'm busy. It's bad that I'm busy. Like I'm too busy almost. I think part of it though is, what's up, OFG? It's just trying to find that balance. And now that I'm pretty much like super consistent with incorporating the live streams to what I do with the channel here, now another thing I got to add to my plate. This plate's getting full. It's like a buffet out here with all the stuff on my plate. I have to do a few things to go ahead and figure out how to make the live streams a better experience and stuff. I don't know if I should have like soft background music. Like if it's video games and stuff, you don't really want that because you want to hear the audio of the game. But this isn't a video game. This is an illustration. Obviously, I'm doing commentary, but it's not like you have to listen to the sound effects of whatever's going on in the background. So that wouldn't be a deterrent. At least I don't think, for somebody's viewing experience. But that's just one thing on my plate of like 200 things that I got to do. Which, again, is not a bad thing. It's just something I got to keep in mind. Man, today was busy. Tomorrow's going to be busy. It's exciting, though. Got a lot of moves in the works. I'm watching some basketball right now. What is this? Hawks versus Mavericks. And it's just so crazy to see Luka Doncic guarding Trae Young. Crazy in the fact that it's like actually happening. Because we saw, like, I don't really watch too much college basketball, but whenever players of their caliber, and obviously Luka was overseas playing professional, when players of their caliber, when will you upload tutorials? I got to figure out when I can find the time to do that, because I have to pretty much write out the script for that, and then I have to film it, and that just takes a while. I do want to do that, just when the timing's good. But like, you know, just keeping up with like the sports world, if a player is good in college, they'll start to make note of it earlier on. So I've been hearing about Trae Young for a minute. You know, they compare his game to Steph Curry. As for Luka, this guy's been hyped up for a while now. He was low-key for a good while. I think in terms of the YouTube space, a creator that kind of helped put him out there, get the name out faster, is Mike Orzimba. What's up, Young21? So, you know, just hearing, and like, for example, the equivalent of what that was for these players now would be like a Zion Williamson, right? He's over there in college. He's looking really good, by the way. Super athletic, super scary. Like, I would not want to go up against that guy. But I'm also like a foot shorter than he is. So that really wouldn't be fair anyway. We're going to do... Yeah, we can do that. Now, let's take care of some of this. Now, there is a lot of stitching detail on this. And when I say a lot, like, it's not like a lot, but if I want to make it look nice, because you see how the stitching over to the right, all this right here, it's that zigzag pattern along these perforations. I could go and like these things right here, I could do all that detail. It depends though. Like, I'm not even kidding you guys. I'm exhausted. Super tired. But I would go to bed feeling like crap if I didn't upload today or do a live stream or something. So that's absolutely out of the question. Like, there's no way whatsoever. How tall am I? 5'6". A respectable 5'6", might I add. I don't play basketball. Not anymore. I don't have time. It's good exercise, but even then, even if I did have the ability to play basketball, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I got injured a few years ago actually playing basketball. So what happened, and I forgot what the specific thing was. Something in my knee. I think it was like the... whatever the cartilage in the knee is, whatever that's called. I can't think of the name right now. I was going up for a rebound. I came down. My left knee, you know, I land. It seemed like a regular landing, but something felt weird. You know, it hurt. It felt tight. Like my knee was just really stiff. It wasn't like it wasn't a kind of pain like anything broke. But it felt so stiff and it hurt. I had to go over to the bench and sit down. I'm like, man, like this is really uncomfortable. After maybe like 10, 15 minutes or whatever, the pain kind of subsided. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to just go home or whatever. And for 2 years, I didn't say anything about it to my parents or whatever. I didn't do anything about it because I'm like, okay, it was just a quick little thing. My knee was sore for a bit, but it is what it is. I'm good. The problem was, and it took 2 years for me to like ever like speak up about it because I didn't realize how bad of a problem it was. Whenever I would do a squat, so you get all the way down to the ground, squat all the way deep, because the problem was in my left knee. Okay, when I would squat all the way down, I could feel like this pinching sensation in my knee. And because of that, it hurt to the point where I would have to lean towards the right. I couldn't squat evenly because of how much pain was in my knee. So I wouldn't be able to do squats. Definitely not with weight. Because, you know, when you're working out, form is everything or whatever. So when I'm squatting and it's so uncomfortable, it's so unnatural that I have to force my body to lean one direction as opposed to the other. A, I'm not getting a good workout in. B, that's just not safe. Especially when you got like 200 pounds in your shoulders and you're trying to bring that down all the way back up. No. So that didn't work out good. So, told my parents, like, all right, we gotta go get this checked out. I go to whatever the doctors for that name would be. I go to see a doctor. They do some x-rays or whatever. And basically what it was, so you have your cartilage in your knee. What it looked like was, so picture like cotton candy, right? It looked like a piece of cotton candy and a section of that, like the whole thing looked smooth, but a section of it looked like you took cotton candy and you kind of like grabbed it with your hand and then you kind of separate it from the rest of the cotton candy. So it's a bunch of strands that are just kind of like out of place. So most of my knee is smooth, but there's a section that's just has a lot of strings and it's like all messed up. And it's like, yeah, that's supposed to be smooth and it's all like destroyed. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm no doctor. What do we got to do? You know, I'm just a kid. I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like layman's terms, please. Basically what they had to do to fix the problem is they needed to remove the cartilage that was all messed up. And when we talk about cartilage doesn't grow back. So when they said they needed to remove it, they emphasized this is not coming back. I'm like, I don't care, it hurts now. Like, just get it out, it's fine. So the caveat to that, they did the surgery, and by the way, I hate surgery. It creeps me out. The whole idea of them putting me to sleep, because they can't do that while I'm awake. And even if they could, I wouldn't want them to, because I'd be freaking out. The idea of them putting me to sleep using anesthetics or whatever it's called, and they're cutting open my knee. They're coming in with, like, you know, scalpels and blades or whatever, and they're doing all that mess to my knee. That I just, like, it's so, like, it freaks me out, because in any event where I'm awake and I'm like responsive and all that, that would hurt like a mother. Like a mother. So they did that. I couldn't really walk for a few weeks. I had to have like a cast and I had to have the foot elevated or whatever. And over time, it got better. But the only problem is, because that knee has less cartilage than my other knee, now the problem is that knee can get sore a lot quicker than my other knee that's healthy. I guess because there's less cartilage in there, if I'm doing an exercise such as running, it's bound to happen. And I've had problems recently where, like, I felt it kind of flare up. You know, I feel my knee, like, starting to give me problems. So there is a possibility that I will have to look into that again sometime soon, because I'll go for a run and it just hurts, like at the start of the run, let alone at the end of the run. So it's like, yeah, this is probably not good. I might have to get this checked out again. Super inconvenient. So if I were to play basketball again, I wouldn't be an asset to any team. I can come off the bench, I'll swish a few, but aside from that, you're not getting anything from me. Nothing productive, at least. I would facilitate points for the other team, if anything. Definitely not for my team. What up, Nick? Let's see. It looks like, because I'm watching the Hawks and the Mavericks game, the Mavericks were up pretty much most of the game. And now the Hawks are up by 5. It's interesting because if the Mavericks have a terrible season, because they got Luka, they got Dennis Smith Jr., they still have Harrison Barnes, I believe. He's nothing too special, but he's a decent piece. Crazy to think he was a part of that Warriors run that once was it 73 games? And now we haven't really heard of him since. But they have those pieces. If they do bad this season, if they do like really bad, not as bad as my Magic. I need my Magic to do terrible so we can get a good draft pick. If they get another piece, because Luka's going to be good. He's already tested and proven playing professional basketball overseas, which, you know, merits some respect. But supposedly, this upcoming draft class is also supposed to be really interesting. I mean, there's like 3 players over at Duke that are really talented. I don't know, the NBA is just getting so good. Every year, we're going to see like the top 10 draft picks. They're going to be really, really interesting players. Players that could definitely help change the trajectory of a franchise for sure. Which means a lot. Because it's already getting to the point where even if your team sucks, like for example, my team sucks. Even though my team sucks, there are some pretty interesting pieces on there. There should be, you know, a reason to watch those games. Maybe even buy a ticket and go to the games. Now, I'm not going to do that because it's 2.5 hours away from me. And, like, I would only go if I wanted to see the other team play, not my team win. Because otherwise, I could just watch it on my TV. And even then, I don't really have the time for that. You know? Alright, we need to... Let me grab this. Oh, no. Wait, what? Let's, I don't know. What are we going to do about this? Let's see. We can't do that. Can't do that. We're going to figure that out in a second. The laces are always a little bit pain in the butt. If you guys want to try ooh, this is a life hack. Ooh, this is a life hack. Okay, so if you guys want to try like a free version of Illustrator, I believe the website's called Vector. So VECTOR. Type it into Google first. But I believe that website, it's like a free version of Illustrator. Now, what do I mean by that? It doesn't mean that you can use the whole Illustrator software for free. But it has the basic core components of what you would need from Illustrator to open and edit Illustrator files. Again, what does that mean? So like if I were to save this when I'm done, and if I were to have this uploaded as a link that you can download somewhere or whatever, and you were to download the link, you could then go on that website. Again, it's called Vector, VECTOR, I believe. Type it into Google. You can go on that website because I've only been on there once, but I'm pretty sure it's legit because like there's a similar website for Photoshop called Photopea. So like photo and then PEA, like peas in a pod. That's the equivalent of Vector, but for Photoshop files. And you can go on there and you can start to mess around and you can get a feel for how these pieces of software work. Because like some people look at the screen and they're like, what's all that crap on the screen? It's really not a lot of stuff. Like driving a car is way more difficult than doing whatever it is I'm doing right now. Now some of you guys can't drive yet, so like it's difficult anyway. But a lot of this stuff really makes sense. So we're gonna go over some stuff now if you guys want like quick little tutorial. Do you see this toolbar right over here with all these little icons and stuff? That's like your quick toolbar that has a lot of different main options for tools that you would most likely need. That one all the way at the top, that gray triangle arrow thing, that's your selection tool. So when you're creating objects, like right now I'm creating these objects, you would pick that tool and that tool would allow you to, as you can imagine, select tools. So if you guys play video games on PC, you know hotkeys. Hotkeys are very important because it allows you to be very efficient. So let's say we had, I don't know, this tool, whatever. V, that's the hotkey for the selection tool. Now you have it. Now you can select stuff. If you want to select more than one, click, hold. You see this box that you create. Now you select everything within that box. Very simple concept. Because when you put something down, I don't care if it's text, I don't care if it's a shape, anything. Well, that's basically most of what it is, text and shape. But you have to be able to select it, you know, because you can't just have a different tool, so like a text tool that makes texts, but then to select it, because if I still have the text tool, if I keep typing, it's still going to keep typing. If I click, it's just going to change where I want to, you know, position something. So I have to go to the selection tool, and now I can select it and move it. Again, a lot of these things seem like a lot at first, but they all make sense within the construct of what we're doing. By the way, where am I at with this? Oh, okay, really close. So, again, I got to figure out these guys up here. I have an idea for that. Like, okay, when we're looking at this section over here, we're just going to look at this right here. Layers panel. So think of it this way. Let's say you see this line that I'm making? Also, what is going on? There we go. This line that I'm making, for example. Let's go ahead, let's finish up this line, and I'll give you guys a perfect example. Actually, no. Quick demo. Quick little demo. We have a circle. Blue circle. Maybe make it darker so that way you guys can actually see it. Okay, we have this blue circle. If I make another circle, and we make the circle red, do you see how the second circle I made is on top of the blue circle? So it's almost like everything that you make in this piece of software is in some order, right? There are no two objects on the same exact plane, even though visually it might look that way, because one object by default has to be in front of another object, either by the order in which you place it or the order in which you want it to go. So if you want to bring something all the way to the front so it's visible, let me just do this. You can do that. Think of it this way. Let's say you have like a binder. Okay. You have a whole bunch of clear plastic inserts. And then you have pictures. You put pictures in each one of those inserts. I gotta fill in these guys. You put photos in each one of those inserts, right? So now each one of those inserts has a photo. If you want the photo all the way in the back to come to the front, you move it all to the way to the front, which means every other photo moves a step back because now they're not in the same position that they were. So like, let's say I want to have, this is gonna be good. Let's say I want to have we're gonna say this is like a ball. Let's say I want this ball to have a shadow. We're gonna copy this, I don't know, something like this. We're gonna rotate it. No, I think it's gotta be like this. Right? Let's say we want this to be its shadow. So we're gonna make it a little bit darker. But we want the ball to be on top of the shadow because that's how shadows work. So now we move the ball front. So like the sun is like up here and it's hitting the ball. If we want to be like super conceptual, we can. So in theory, this would be a little bit darker. And this would be a little lighter. Alright, you see that? So the shadow is behind the ball. But we had to put it there. Because we can put this in front. But what is that? You know? That doesn't make any sense. Now, to be even more, or to have it really make sense, we also have layers. Also, why isn't this working? Because think of layers as files, basically. So you have like a cabinet, a drawer where you have all your files. Your layers are basically your files. So I have 3 layers. I have one layer for just the picture that's locked, so I can't touch accidentally and move the picture. and make everything crazy. I have the top layer, which is going to be on top, because if I have the picture layer on top, oh, there we go. If I have the picture layer on top, then obviously we can't see anything else behind it because it's on top. So if we had the line layer on top, then we'll see that first. And a lot of this makes sense. You have to leave soon. It's all good, bro. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube as soon as I'm done with it. And hopefully I'll be done within half an hour. Easy? Yeah, for sure. But when it comes to these pieces of software, a lot of this stuff repeats. And this is a key thing too. Again, there's all these buttons on this screen. When it comes to the software, for the most part, unless you're trying to do something very specific, which you would know whatever that thing is, right? There's more than one way to do something. Ooh, we got the 76ers versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Markelle Fultz really needs to step it up. If he doesn't do well, we're gonna get into that in a second. But real quick, let me finish this thought. When it comes to and we see it a lot with Photoshop too, but this also applies to Illustrator, there's usually more than one way to do something. But the more you know, the better understanding of the software that you have, thus you can determine what's the easiest way or the most effective way to do whatever it is you want to do. That's like the secret sauce. Can we good enough. So what up, Leela? Yeah, I remember you. So for example, let's say we want to make a leaf, right? This is going to be a quick example, but this is going to illustrate it perfectly. So we have a leaf. We're going to make it green, right? We could do it that way, or we could do it that way. See that? There's more than one way to do something. The idea is, over time, as you learn all the tools, you understand how they work, you understand what they do and why they do what they do, and how to manipulate them. You'll be able to do stuff that might seem complex in an easy way. Another perfect example. Let's say I want to select all these lines. But let's say there was other stuff in here too, so it was cluttered, and I only want to select the black outlines because there was colors inside. What I would do is I would go up to select same stroke color. Now I have all the same stroke colors as the one that I had selected. So if that was a situation where I had the entire center colored within the same layer, that's the thing. I have the other layers locked. So think of your layers as like files in a cabinet or binders for your schoolwork. You don't keep all your schoolwork in one binder, and if you do, newsflash, you probably shouldn't do that. It's way easier if you don't, you know? So it can help keep you organized. More importantly, it can help prevent things from getting really out of hand really fast. We need to... Very nice, very nice. And part of what I like Illustrator for is because we're working with vectors, and for those of you who don't know, when creating vectors, these type of images can be scaled at any size. Like, this is a perfect example. Look at the image that we're using. I zoomed in. Do you see how pixelated it is? You know? Like, you can see it right now. Because when you export an image, it's exported at whatever size it was originally made at, right? So we keep zooming in. Look, you can count these pixels, but all this stuff that we're making is crisp, it's clean, no matter what size, because we're creating it. By the way, is that all the line work? No, we got a little spot over here. We got a few little spots. But then again, if you wanted to do edits to a photo, you would probably want Photoshop for that, not Illustrator, because this is not meant for that kind of thing. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So the different pieces of software are very useful for different things. And it can seem intimidating at first. Like, oh my God, there's so many things. But it's like with anything, man. Just practice. That's all it is. If I can do it, you guys can definitely do it. I'm not special. We're going to add one more layer that says stitching. Stitching. Oh my God. Stitch. I might have spelled that wrong. But that's okay. So now, I believe, I'm going to double check. The line work is pretty much good. I don't really have complaints. We're going to select everything. Now, let me explain what I'm going to do. So we made these lines, right? What it is, and it's super hard to explain, but we're going to do this. So you see how these green lines are in the middle? Because that's ultimately the line that we made. We added strokes to all these lines, which is the black. But we want the shapes to be defined within the black lines. So this whole white shoelace right here, I want to create a shape out of that and color it in. I can't do that unless I have these blacks outlined. So we have to go to Object, Path, Outline, Stroke. Now you see how that changed? Now the green is on the outside edges of all these black lines, because now we made those into shapes. But here's what we're going to do. I want all of these black shapes to be one shape, because you see how they're all individual shapes, because that's how I made them. So like this was one shape, this was one shape, that. We're going to go to our Pathfinder tool. We're going to unite. Now everything is one shape. It's all connected. This is all one piece. It's all one piece. So this is good. I like this. I like this a lot. Let's just turn this on. Yeah. Good. Okay. I'm going to copy all this. Unlock the color layer. Lock that because I don't want to mess with that. Control, Command, Shift, V, whatever you got. Now a duplicate of that is pasted on this layer. But here, watch what I'm going to do. Just watch this. Because the shape itself is the black outlining. The spaces in between, there is no shape. So I would have to fill it with the shape, and then I would have to change the color. And there's an easy way to do that. I can take a square rectangle thing. Because I just placed that, of course it's going to be on top. But we have to be on the correct layer. There we go. And then we have to hide this. There we go. So, of course it's on top. Select over everything. Now we can see the layer behind, or the item, the object behind it. It's peeking through because we have them selected. We're going to go to Pathfinder. We're going to go to Divide. What that's going to do is it's going to cut up everything, and it's going to make all these lines into a shape. So instead of just having the rectangle in front be a shape, this is what we're going to do. Divide. Press that once. Now when we go over it, you see how these are all, and I should have picked a better color, but you see how it's like cut up? Well, one thing we don't need is we don't need this. Wait, what? Oh, okay, so we have to ungroup. Too much power. We don't need that. We're going to ungroup. Bam. Excuse me, sir. Ah, okay, I see. That normally doesn't happen. That's okay, that's okay. So I didn't complete this shape. Which is fine. I need to extend this. Let me just... Okay, so then... Yeah, whatever. Okay, that works. So now we have all these pieces. This is what we're gonna color in. But we're gonna do some with this. I wanna lock this because I don't even wanna deal with this. I don't want it to give me any complaints whatsoever. We're gonna cheat on this. Again, that was my B. There was a little spot that was open. So we're just gonna make a shape that fits within this shape. It's probably, yeah, we're gonna do it like this. One more. Yep. We're gonna bring it around over here. Bring it around. By the way, on my busy list of things I have to do, favorite shoe is my grail, I guess, is the appropriate term I should use. Space Jam 11. Like, no doubt, not even close. Such a beautiful shoe. And then let me just make sure this works. Yep. That's right, better work. Okay. Okay, yep, good. So now I can select this, take out whatever the fill is, sample it, boom. And now we just start plugging things in. I still got to add the stitching, which I'll do in just a second, but it's super satisfying to see this done. Yeah, Space Jam 11 is what got me into really having a love for sneakers. That shoe just had a big impact on my life. It changed everything. Nothing was the same since that shoe. Ah, okay. So, do you see that? It's like when somebody says they're not touching you, but they do this. Okay, so because that's not completed, what happened? Yeah, this is my own laptop I'm doing this on. So because that's not completed, when I clicked this, it clicked all of this because that was connected. So there's two things I can do. One, I can do surgery, kind of fix that, or it's one piece, I can just cut it. Swing. And now it's two pieces. See? Problem solved. Ain't no biggie. This ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. Alright, cool. So we're going to do this. Once we pretty much add the stitching, we'll be done, which is great because I got so much crap I have to do. One of the things I got to do sometime soon, too, is I got to get ready for that. Because Pencil's having another competition. And basically what their competition is you have to design a sneaker. They're partnering up with New Balance. So it should probably be like a sneaker with New Balance's logo. You know, just to kind of make sense. And their competition is so dope. So they're going to select, I think, 15 footwear designers. And when I say, yo, what's up, Johnny? And when I say 15 footwear designers, people who submit, because there's 3 different categories. There's footwear design, there's fashion, and then there's material. I think, something like that. Yeah, material. So I got to submit something. And the entries are not needed until like sometime early December. But I want to start getting that really ahead of time, because the sooner I can get that ready, whatever that thing is that I'm going to be doing, because I have no idea what it's going to be. I have no idea what I want to do for design. But I know preparation is important. I know when you prepare, you're better off. So, but again, that's just something else added to my plate. This quarter, I'm also going to get my portfolio done because, well, it has to be done. I have a class where I have to get it done. Just so much going on. Which is why, like I mentioned earlier, it's hard to do the drawing videos on weekdays. It really is. Unless you guys want to see me like just destroyed. Which I can do. I would just be a sad camper. Okay, so now we're gonna make this the same color as this. And what else? Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. Now we gotta add that stitching, because it's not the same without the stitching. We're gonna add the stitching and then we'll be good. No, but so what happens when you get selected? And guys, if this ever happens, because I've tried so many times, but if I'm gonna be transparent, that's a good word. If I'm gonna be transparent, I never really gave it my all. And maybe I don't give it my all this time either, for one reason or another, you know? I think the last 2 times I tried, it's either laziness or I just had so much going on where I couldn't devote as much time as I wanted to into one thing. Again, that might be a bad excuse, but that was my story. I'm sticking to it. But if you get selected, so the submissions end December, early December, if I understand this correctly. And then they pick people by the end of December, because you have to know some time in advance, because they fly you out to one of their locations in Boston, which is sick. You're out there for 3 weeks. They go over a complete master course in footwear design. All that tuition's paid free, including the flight fares and stuff. All you have to pay for is like your food, if you want to like live. Which is like a joke, but it's also true. And then, hold on, why is this? There we go. No, and they go over a complete master course in footwear design. And at the end, like part of it too, it's a competition when you're there. And then the winning, it's either the winning students or whatever, because this is all for students. So you can't be 80 and be there. Then the winning students will have the opportunity to have a year-long paid internship with New Balance. That's awesome. That's really cool. Just to go there, just to be able to go there and have that experience would be enough for me. But especially if I can have an internship with New Balance. Now, let's just be 100, guys. Is New Balance as interesting of a company to work for than, let's say, like a Nike or Adidas? Probably not. Is it a great opportunity? Absolutely yes, 100%. And that's all I really care about. New Balance makes some good shoes though. I uploaded one of their stencils today, the 998. That is available for you over on your favorite website, KicksArt.com. #1 source for free sneaker stencils. And the best part is, if you want to see a stencil added to the website that's not already available, you can send a request to the contact tab of the page. What is this part? It gets a little congested right there. Yeah, we're gonna, let's just do this. Here's the problem though. If that, like, because you guys already know that I love the hypothetical highway. If we go down that road, so the contest would be late January till like early to mid-February is the 3-week span that it would run. I have classes I need to be in, so I don't know how that would work, if that's even a thing. I would have to take that up with my dean. I would have to get that approved. And the reason why it's a problem, because I graduate in June. There's still a number of classes that I need to take, and most of those classes are only available during certain times of the year, as in like right now. By the way, let's see, does that look good? Now it does. Yay. Alright, cool. Not too much more stitching left to do, which excites me. Soul Demand. Definitely sending that request through KicksArt.com, only because I'm going to forget to try to look at it here. Let's do this. No, so yeah, the way my school is set up, certain classes are only available at certain times in the year, and there are 2 classes next quarter that if I don't take next quarter, or if I'm not able to take it for whatever reason, I would have to wait a year to retake those classes, and that would be a super L. So let's do this. By the way, I was looking at some of the highlights, because I don't know if you guys saw, Blake Griffin scored 50 points yesterday. That's a lot of points. I don't think he ever scored 50 points, to be honest. And he did it against the 76ers. Apparently, Joel Embiid was able to flop and get Andre Drummond ejected. And apparently, he received a warning for it from Adam Silver, because it was a flop. You know, during the time of these games, it's possible that they miss some of these things. So I'm not saying it's the ref's fault, but it's the ref's fault. At least in that particular scenario. Oh, you guys know what I'm going to start doing? Unless it's like I know what I want to do that day and I'm going to do it anyway. Like, for example, tomorrow's probably more than likely going to be another live stream. So what I'll try to do is I'll try to have a poll, or not a poll, just like a post, and you guys can comment what sneaker I should do a digital illustration of. That to me sounds like a genius idea. But I'm also biased, so you can do with that information what you will. Aha. Blake Griffin is the softest big man ever in the history of the NBA. Ooh. I think part of it, though, is like he, I don't know. I feel like he had a lot of success earlier on. Injuries definitely don't help. I'll give him that. And then what was that whole that whole beef with them and the Houston Rockets, where like there was a little backroom scuffle, like at the Staples Center or whatever. I don't. Do you guys remember that last season? And like Blake Griffin or somebody, one of these tall 7-foot NBA players was trying to get the police because they were in fear of their lives being endangered from another NBA player who's like a foot shorter than them. Jesus. Let's go ahead. And guys, we're like probably like less than 5 minutes away from being done, which is awesome because I need some sleep. Well, no, I can't even do that. Oh my God. Homework. Okay. What else do we have to possibly do? Ah, we gotta add these. CP3 or Rondo. In terms of who I want on my team, Chris Paul's good, but so is Rondo. Rondo does have a championship ring. That matters. Matters to me. Although you could argue that Chris Paul would have a ring if it wasn't for him being injured. So I don't know how well that argument holds up. I would definitely say that Chris Paul is a better scorer. I don't think there's any denying that. I do feel like Rondo is a better passer, though. I like Rondo, though, because he's not afraid to spit in somebody's face. Like, anybody who's willing to spit in another man's face to, like, defend my honor, he's cool with me. Oh, my God, it's going to do this thing, really? Let me do this. Yeah, I don't like how this is going to go. So let me find what that sweet spot is. Otherwise, I'm going to have to redo this whole thing again. Let's see. Jeez. That's me a pain in the butt. Rondo also has that little, like, fake back thing pass. I love looking at that. I tried pulling that off in a game. I trust you guys. It did not work well for me. I don't want to let you guys know what happened, but let's just say that it was definitely a turnover. I will say this about Rondo. He really does look like a... What was the name of the turtle? He had like a... It's like a children's book. So, man, you just got to practice. It gets way easier when you keep practicing. And, like, when something doesn't work, if you can analyze why it doesn't work, that's, like, the secret right there. Ooh, I think I found... Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So right around there is where it becomes less crappy. Because think about it. If you're doing something, I don't care what you're doing. If it's not working, you need to analyze, okay, first of all, what it is that I'm doing. What's my process? What am I trying to do here? You got to also look at Franklin. There it is. Yeah, he looks like Franklin. That's a good show. Oh my god. Okay, I saw this meme. Yo, okay. I'm assuming you guys have seen SpongeBob. You know those houses, like in Bikini Bottom? I'm not talking about like SpongeBob's, because this is a pineapple. I'm not talking about Squidward's. His is like a Eastern Island statue, and then Patrick is just a rock. But like the whatchamacallit, like the houses for like the whatever Bikini Bottom, apparently they're mufflers from like boats. Look it up. I'm not even kidding you guys. Like, my mind was shook. My real name is Steve, but most people call me Steve. I used this in high school, and I just got too frustrated. It's just practice, man. Like anything else. Like, okay, so I would ask you, what gets you frustrated? Because to get frustrated, that means that you're trying to do something and that it's not working. Right? Like, if we want to break it down in terms of like the root of the problem, it means that you're trying to use the software to do something and it's not working for you, or you don't understand the software, or some other third thing. So then you have to figure out, like, you just got to break it down. Okay, so like when I don't know how to do something, I look up tutorial videos. Ben Simmons is Donovan Mitchell. I like Ben Simmons better as a player. Donovan Mitchell, though, reminds me of like a slightly more athletic Dwayne Wade. With good energy. I like his vibe. I really do. And Utah, man, I didn't see them doing well last year at all. They shook the world. They're probably going to be a playoff team again this year. Probably going to give somebody problems in the postseason. Christian, my favorite shoe is Space Jam 11s. Alright, so is that good? Yeah, it's good. Now we gotta pretty much repeat that here, but this is obviously a much smaller sample size, so. Mitchell beating the Rockets right now. Are they playing? Let's see. Not just getting the steps right, because I figure I know the tool and how to use them. Wait, so what? Here, like give me an example, because this live stream is about to be over. Real quick, give me an example of something that you don't understand or something that frustrates you, and then we'll try to figure it out real quick. Nice. Wait, so if, because what am I watching? ESPN? I would figure that game would be more interesting than this game. That's weird. And the time zone works better too, because usually you would see Western Conference matches be on around this time on national TV. Huh. Oh well. When using the pencil and the outline doesn't come right. So, alright, so man, like, give me something that you want me to, like, outline real quick. Well, the Bucks are on because of Giannis. That's the only reason. You don't know when this guy can just jump over somebody's head. And then everybody's, like, going nuts. Okay, so, okay. By the way, this is done, but I do not watch baseball. It's not really my sport. I know like the, what is it? The Red Sox are going to the World Series. Oh, okay. So when you outline the shoe, gotcha. Ooh, no, ew. That's a terrible color. Again, no. Let's do this. All right, cool. No, okay. So you're saying. Yeah, I saw that they lost to the Grizzlies. What the heck? Okay, so let's do this one more time. We're gonna celebrate. We're gonna do just the swoosh, okay? Soldier Man, we're gonna do this real quick, and then we're gonna end the live stream. So if I use the pen tool, and I try to be okay, I'm gonna click, hold, and drag. All right, click, hold, and drag. Line up my cursor to the rest of the shape. Click, hold, drag. Go down over here. Click, hold, drag. Click, hold, drag. Click, hold, drag. And watch, you're going to see this. Click, hold, drag. Click, hold, drag. Click, hold, drag. Yeah, I already know. My favorite basketball movie? Coach Carter is pretty good. I like that one. And then, yeah. Okay, so. If we, because you saw how we outlined that, and the outline was pretty perfect. But because we outlined a realistic Nike swoosh, not a conceptual Nike swoosh where it's the logo, we outlined what this swoosh looks like on a real shoe with all its imperfections. So when you look at it from a creative standpoint, that is not the sexiest swoosh. Like if Nike's thing is just do it, this swoosh's thing would be do it whenever you want, right? That's what this swoosh says to me. So, but like, let's look at it. You know, this part's fine. That part's cool. That's okay. And then we get here. You see how that's not smooth? I want to fix that. So we're going to get our direct selection tool because now we want to select the nodes within this that make up the shape. So A on the keyboard. This node in particular is probably the one we're going to work with, because this node connects this piece up here, which needs work, as well as this piece down here. All right. Let's see. First, let's make this vertical. Let's take it down a little bit, make it smoother. Let's bring this up a little bit. This over here too. What if we just bring this out a little bit, right? And actually, we're gonna copy this so that way you can like really see. Do it whenever you want. Do it whenever you feel like. I'm gonna make a copy so that way you can exactly see what I'm doing. So, and then we'll be done. So again, bring this down, bring this up. Probably want to bring this out a little bit. Just that small change. And again, we're making the change not based off of the image. We're making it based off what it looks like. I'm not in pencil. I want to though, that'd be cool. Do you see how this swoosh up here looks more fluid than the one on the bottom? We took the basic components of the one on the bottom, but we modified it. And it's just playing around. The key too, you see how we only have, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 nodes. We don't have these anchor points or whatever. We don't have them all over the place. We have the fewest amount that we need to do the job. That's the key. Just do it whenever you want. But actually, hold on. I like that. we're gonna incorporate some typography into this. Do I still have that font? Whatever, we'll go with, no, we gotta pick something more serious. This is what happens when you're running on 2 hours of sleep. Just do it whenever you want. There we go. Favorite superhero? Batman. The Dark Knight still blows my mind to this day. Don't even get me started on the Dark Knight. This live stream will be like another hour long. But that's wait. There we go. That's gonna do it for today's live stream, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being patient with me. I told you guys this is gonna be half an hour, and look what happens. It's like an hour long. Hey, trust me, man. You get used to CC. I'm telling you, man. Just practice. It all makes sense. Even when it doesn't, it does. And this is not sponsored by Adobe, by the way. But appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget, check out KicksArt.com. I got another stencil being uploaded probably like within an hour or two. Probably like within closer to the 2 hour mark than the 1 hour mark for sure. Probably doing another live stream tomorrow. I'll have a post sometime mid-afternoon where you guys can comment what sneaker you'd like to see me do for that digital illustration. With that being said, y'all already know that will see you guys tomorrow.